My name is David Votman, and I've been taking martial arts for 14 years. I take Taekwondo, and today we will be demonstrating on how to sit up your boards and also different techniques that will get you through white belt to black belt. In this first section, I'd like to teach you how to sit up your board holders correctly. First off, you need to get them into a very deep and wide front stance. Go ahead. Make sure they have opposite legs out so you have a wide, stable base. Less movement, less chances this board will move, and you can have a straighter hit on the board. Next, you want to make sure that the outside hands come to the top of the board. The bottom hands cross. As you notice, they have a wide stance, the legs are crossed in the back, arms are locked tight. You must have a good stable base when breaking boards. If the base is weak, change legs please.
Sure.
If the station's weak and you're coming in with a hard, powerful kick, I have more chance to knock them off balance. Whereas if they have a wider stance and I come straight at the board, it's more solid. The last technique that I'd like to demonstrate is just a straight punch. Okay? When sitting up the board, the grain can go vertical or horizontal. Sit the board up, chest level. Step back, get into a deep front stance, just like you were doing the palm heel or doing the elbow strike. Front chamber comes up. You can do it two ways. You can stutter step, getting your momentum to go forward, just like in the elbow strike or the palm heel. Reverse punch. Note, the hand turns over. If you notice, I'm hitting with the two knuckles. The two biggest knuckles are your two strongest, two biggest. You want to hit with those two. Again, front stance, stutter step forward, hands back. Make sure you get your hips into it. Turn over. The next hand technique I'd like to demonstrate is a palm heel. When sitting up for a palm heel, you are going to get them in their regular board holding position and the grain will be vertical. You want to sit the board up, chest level. Get into a deep front stance, just like if you were doing an elbow strike. Hand reaches out, left hand out, right hand if you're doing the opposite hand. Hand chamber is all the way back. You're going to take a stutter step forward, scoot forward. You're going to come at the board, just like as if it was a punch. Wrist is going to turn over, but you're going to be hitting with the palm of your heel. Again, front stance, stutter step forward, hand is back, palm heel. Note the twist. As you can tell, the hand is twisting, going through the board. You want to hit with the bottom of the hand. The next technique I'd like to demonstrate is a back elbow. When doing a back elbow, you want to sit the board up just like you were doing a front elbow. The grain will go horizontal. Basic board holding stance. Sit the board in the chest. Stand in front of the board in chumbi position. You'll be stepping back. If you're doing it with the right hand, you're going to be stepping back into a back stance past the board, bringing the elbow through. If you're left-handed, you'll be in chumbi position, stepping back with the left foot into a back stance, past the board, elbow. Again, slow. Chamber comes up. Left hand comes back to the waist, right hand extends out, step back into a back stance, pull your body through. Pull your hips through, go through the board. The next technique I'd like to demonstrate is a reverse elbow. Reverse elbow is sit up just like you do in a kick. You get your basic stance. Place the grain horizontal. Sit the board up chest level. The stance you want to get into is a front stance. Line your right arm or your left arm, depending on what leg or hand you want to use. Sit it up in the center of the board. Your front stance, your front foot should be on the outside of the board. Chamber your hand up. Hand is rechambered back just like if you were going to do a punch. You're going to take your back foot, step forward to the front foot shoots out, hips turn into it, hand comes out, hit with the elbow. The part of the elbow that we're hitting with is right here. This area here should be within 2 inches of your elbow. This area here. Again, good front stance, hand completely back. Chamber up, stutter step forward, hips pop out, twist through the board. The next technique I'd like to demonstrate is a knife hand strike. Knife hand strike, sit the board holder up in your basic front stance, arms locked, grain going horizontal. Go ahead, get into a back stance with your front foot facing the board. Scoot in close, adjust your distance to where your side of your hand meets up to the center of the board. Okay? The hand that you're going to use to break the board with, whether it's your right or your left, the hand that breaks goes to your opposite ear, which is my left. My right hand's going to cross my body. The right hand's going to pull back to your waist. The left hand's going to go through the board. Watch again. Note that the hand is turning over. I'd like to demonstrate is an upset knife hand strike. The way we're going to do that is you step out in your basic board holding stance, front stance, hands in the center of the board, board grain going horizontal. Okay? Stand in a semi-upright position, right hand or left hand, depending on which hand you want to use, comes back by the ear. Reach the other hand out as a pre-chamber. You're going to take your front foot, step into a front stance, open your hand tightly, turn your hips into it. Go all the way through the board. Show you again. Step, turn the hips, go through the board. Pull through the board. The next technique I'd like to demonstrate is a hand technique. It's called a ridge hand. We're going to be hitting with the inner part of the hand here. It's going to be from about an inch past the wrist, where the wrist bends, all the way up to this first knuckle, this area here. Sit your board holder up in a natural, ready position. Go ahead and face this direction, please. Sit the board chest level, grain going horizontal. If you're going to hit with your right hand, you want your left leg forward. If you're going to hit with your left hand, you're going to put your right leg forward. Hand chambers out or stays back. The hand you're going to hit with starts at your waist. Shoots straight out, turns over, pulls through. You want to make sure that you can even raise that front foot and pull your body through. It's like swinging a bat. You're just swinging your arm through. Show you again. One more time. The next technique that I'll be demonstrating is a number 2 round kick, back leg. You want to sit the board up. You can do it 2 ways. You can do it with the instep your foot, which is the upper part of your foot. Or you can do it with the ball of your foot. Just like on the front kick, you're going to pull your toes back and hit with the ball here. Now, sitting up the board, they get in their basic stance for holding. Just cross, check, make sure everything's locked. The board is face level. Center of the board should match your nose. Okay. Sitting up the board, you want to line up at an angle. Pick this first corner, line your hand up with it. Hand returns to natural position. You're going to do a back leg round kick. Foot starts to pivot. Hip pulls around. Leg chambers from behind. Knee comes up. Note, my knee is pointing at my target. This is what you use to aim with. Foot extends out. Hit the center of the board. That is with the instep. When breaking with the instep, you want to make sure the grain is horizontal. Okay? Now, the other way you can do a round kick is with the ball of the foot. Pull those toes back. Turn the grain horizontal. Sit up at your angle. Pivot your foot. Chamber comes around. Aim with your knee. Hit with the ball of your foot. For the second technique, I'd like to demonstrate a number 3 side kick or step behind side kick. Now, when you're sitting up the board on a step behind side kick, you want to make sure the grain is going horizontal. Okay? Stances. You want to sit the board up either chest level or stomach level. Okay? Scoot back, get you a good distance. Make sure you do a good warm-up. What you want to do is make sure you get in a middle stance. You're going to step behind with the back leg, cross over. Note that the back foot is pre-pivoted. My hips is facing the board. Now from here, the chamber will come straight up. Hip turns over. Side kick goes straight out. Now make note, you want to go all the way through the board again, kicking at their chest. Imagine the board is not there. Again, foot steps up, crosses behind. Pre-pivot. Hip faces the board, chamber comes up, turn over. Make sure you have a flat surface. A side kick goes in a straight line. If you notice, if you ever watch your child break a board or adult, and you see the board's going in an upward motion, that means the person is sweeping their leg. Demonstrate sweeping. That means they're kicking upwards. They're not getting a full chamber, which makes the board go up. It's very difficult to break that way. Well, make sure your side kick goes straight in, straight line. For the next technique, I'd like to demonstrate a reverse side kick. Reverse side kick is set up just like your side kick. Grain's going to be horizontal, be in their basic board holding stance. Check, arms locked, front knees bent, back legs locked. Good. Stomach or chest level. Back away from the board. We're going to be doing a reverse side kick. Just like a number 3 side kick, but you're turning. If you can do a side kick and you can turn around, you can do a reverse side kick. A reverse side kick, sit up about 4 inches, extend your hand out about 4 inches to 5 inches away from the board. What you want to do first when practicing, you can also practice this on a bag. You want to make sure you turn your upper body first. If you note, the feet are pivoting and sliding in. Now, just like a number 3 side kick or step behind side kick, you're aiming with your hip now, and you're going to pick the leg straight up and turn over, side kick out. Okay. Again, upper body turns, feet draw in, foot is pre-pivoted, hip is aiming towards the board, chamber, and kick. Follow through. Try to kick their chest. Now, if you notice, I went through the board. Go ahead, cut it. We can cut it. For the second technique, I'd like to demonstrate a number 3 side kick, or step behind side kick. Now, when you're setting up the board on a step behind side kick, you want to make sure the grain is going horizontal. Okay? Stances. You want to set the board up either chest level or stomach level. Okay? Scoot back, get you a good distance. Make sure you do a good warm-up. What you want to do is make sure you get in a middle stance. You're going to step behind with the back leg, cross over. Note that the back foot is pre-pivoted. My hips is facing the board. Now from here, the chamber will come straight up, hip turns over, side kick goes straight out. Now make note, you want to go all the way through the board again, kicking at their chest. Imagine the board is not there. Again, foot steps up, crosses behind, pre-pivot. Hip faces the board, chamber comes up, turn over. Make sure you have a flat surface. A side kick goes in a straight line. If you notice, if you ever watch your child break a board, or adult, and you see the board's going in an upward motion, that means the person is sweeping their leg. Demonstrate sweeping. That means they're kicking upwards. They're not getting a full chamber, which makes the board go up. It's very difficult to break that way. You want to make sure your side kick goes straight in, straight line. The next kick I'd like to show you is a number 2 axe kick. When setting up your board on an axe kick, you want to make sure that the grain is vertical. Okay? Check the stances. Make sure the front knee's bent, back leg's locked, arms locked. The board is going to be set at an angle. From here, make sure you're in a good front stance, good and deep. Back leg is going to come up at an angle on the outside of the left-hand side or right-hand side, depending what leg you use. Leg is going to come up like a leg raise. Leg will come up, arch over the board, drop right down on board, just like this. Down like that.